Well, it's the first day. Wait.
No.
Well, it's the second day of quarterfinals with coverage brought to you by Alien, where I'm joined right now by Sjokz, who has told me she only has exactly 7 minutes for me. Actually, she didn't tell me that. Her people told me that. So, Broden, if you could please put a 7-minute counter up on the screen, and then please let me know exactly when we've hit 7 minutes so that we can cut off. You're just going to cut out. Okay. Well, can you let me know when that happens? Anyway, how are you?
You're a good enough interviewer to go all the way to 7 minutes.
I can go much longer than 7 minutes. Okay, let's be clear. Anyway, how's the event going for you?
Pretty good. Yesterday wasn't the best day from the EU standpoint, but we've been to this venue specifically a lot, so it's always good to come back here. Group stage was really nice.
I seek attention.
Group stage was really nice. It was really nice to host the desk for a change at the groups, and yeah.
Do you have any high hopes for G2 today? Do you think that they... Wait, I think you voted against them, didn't you?
Well, so there's a couple of things here. In my pick'ems, I put them as in the final, but I was getting a lot of flack, and people didn't seem to that was kind of a joke because I put like Splice over SKT and a Fnatic over FAX, which I actually did believe, and G2 over Damwon, and then an EU final. But that wasn't like, it's kind of like memeing. I mean, it's for fun. So then I put a lot of thought into it, and then I put my predictions, and I put Damwon to beat G2 because I just think Damwon's really good. Yeah, they do seem to be
pretty good. So we now have a guaranteed Chinese team in the finals. Is there either one of those two teams that you'd prefer?
Oh, that's hard. I'm actually quite excited. I mean, I'm not happy Fnatic lost, but like it's cool that LPL will be back to defend their title. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a lot of viewership as well, I guess, so that's always good. But I like both IG and FPX. I like IG a lot. They're funny in interviews. They seem likable. They're not holding any punches in interviews, just like they did last year, which is entertaining. And I think they can really get back to that championship form. And I think the Shy and a rookie on form is just an absolute pleasure to watch, League of Legends-wise. And then secondly, FPX is just also really cool. I mean, they have Phoenix in their name. That's the name of the song. Doonby is like the happiest guy ever. So yeah, no preference. Happy for them both.
Well, what has Worlds been like for you overall? Because now you did the analyst desk for groups for the, I think, first time at Worlds, right?
Yeah, first time.
What was that like for you? Because maybe a bit of a different feel from the LEC analyst desk.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. It's intense. The days are obviously really, really long. It's like I think the heaviest days for any of the crews, the analysts and the hosts because you do it all day and you you talk about all these stories for the team.
Oh, I've heard that this team has been doing this.
Yeah. But, as you know, it's been a little bit hard to hold a balance because, like, Worlds is in EU, in front of an EU crowd, so sometimes we go, like, yay when they won, and then people get mad because we have not only EU people watching, so that balancing act was definitely a bit more difficult than I anticipated, and I learned a lot from it, so, yeah.
Well, and I was going to ask you about that too, because I feel like this Worlds more than any other Worlds, there's been so much conversation around bias and predictions, and like Jat made an Instagram post. Yeah. Shout out to Jat's Instagram, by the way.
It was a good Instagram post. It was a good, yeah. Why?
I just love shouting out his Instagram. Because it's funny to shout out someone else's social media in an interview they're not in, specifically in Instagram.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he has been putting up very informative posts, like that one. I liked it a lot.
He was just trying to grow his viewership so he can get more dog pictures, more likes.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, your thoughts on all this bias stuff?
So we had a really heated off-air conversation about that. Now,
you and Jat?
No, you and me. You remember? Over dinner?
Making stuff up again.
Over dinner. It was really good.
We haven't gotten dinner. I don't know.
Okay,
it's true. It was not heated, by the way. I was super chill. I was. Mine is my name with an underscore next to it because somebody stole Travis Gafford.
Right. Can I give my opinion now?
Fine.
No, anyway, so basically you also forced me to kind of just take a step back. Now, what I think it is we know, like, you're more NA focused, so you see a lot more of the NA comments. I'm EU focused, so see a lot of the EU, and I think a lot more of the positives. Because we see everything, that means you see more of the positive NAs and some of the vitriol, and I see a lot of the positive EU and some of the vitriol. With positive, I mean, like, just people supporting teams, making memes, banter, like whatever, that's also fun. But there's, in both fan bases, a really dark underbelly that is just hateful and spiteful that the other region is winning. And I think you made a good point that, unfortunately, for the one side, EU has just been more successful in the last year and a half. So all that vitriol is more easy to notice. But I think it's unfair to say like it's all EU or it's all NA or it's all whatever. Like this is literally the nature of sports and fan bases. They are heated up, they are passionate, they go too far, and I think one of the other floats above. And I think that bias thing comes from that because people don't realize that. Let me say first, I think we make mistakes. Like when I went like splice, snag, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. That was too far. So the next day I corrected and I consciously was very balanced because it was a group with G2 and Cloud9, so I know that that's our viewer base. So I was like, I'm just going to try and toe the line. But it really doesn't matter because people don't realize they watch from a biased perspective as well. So once they have that idea, they're always going to think it. So what I'm trying to say is it drives me crazy, but I'm trying to do my best.
How are we doing on time, Brendan? Wait, you're supposed to look at the timestamp thing. Oh, he's looking. Okay. Anyway.
What do you think?
The time?
No.
I feel like. Anyway, the bias. No, I think it's gotten worse lately, and I think this is what. No, I mean just generally the vitriol has gotten worse. Like I remember NA and EU used to meme at each other, and then one would drop out, and the other would be like, okay, all jokes, we love you. But lately, it feels like people are just so pissed off,
Yeah. Do you think it's because like EU is just like they won MSI and then they were in the world final? Do you think it's just because they're louder and like there's not a lot to put against it?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the past EU and NA both sucked, and maybe EU was a little bit of a stronger.
Yeah.
But like that kept us both humble.
Because like C9 would always make these deep runs and stuff, and I even think like it sucks for TL that they got like swept under the rug because like the final happened versus G2. Yes, they weren't as strong as G2 at MSI, and I don't care if teams.
We're out of time.
I don't care.
No, sorry, we're out of time. I was told I only have 7 minutes.
I don't care if times have an off day. Like you need to respect the results and like, I don't know, like. I wish we could all get along more, but that's also disingenuous because fan bases are supposed to be fired. I just don't like it when they resort into personal attacks and perpetuate something that we work like all of us lose sleep over this bias stuff and like try and correct wherever we can and like brainstorm and watch VODs all the time, and we're still gonna do it because we're enthusiastic about our regions. And I like that some people take the time to really build it up and call it out, but there's a difference between that and like you effing biased, ugly bitch, and stuff like that, which has just been also there. Like, don't do that.
I mean, I get frustrated. First off, your handler's hovering. Do we have a couple more minutes?
Yeah, we can do like, hey, Kirsty, we can do like 2 more minutes. Oh.
Okay.
Thank you.
We could do whatever. Great. All right. You cut the camera? No, he didn't. Okay. Anyway, no, I think similar to that, I wish that. Like, I'm seeing a lot of comments now from EU people where anytime I say anything against any team, like, so, for instance.
Like a prediction.
So, like, ESPN ranked Jankos as the #1 player, which you're kind of laughing about, right? Like, we talked about it on Hotline League, and as much as I love Jankos, I fucking love interviewing him, and I think he's super talented and did a lot for G2 this year. Mark Z's point on my show was like, if you were to build a Worlds team, who's the first player you would pick for it? You'd probably pick Faker. So anyway, it's an interesting conversation. So I was teasing Fionn about it on Twitter, and all these EU people come in and they're just like, you're just salty, you're just malding, you're just whatever. And I'm like, we can't even have like a discussion anymore.
Malding boomer?
Yes, malding boomer, yes. We can't even have a discussion anymore. Without people just like resorting to ad hominems.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be the first to say that like I'm sensitive to that stuff, and I think it's normal because like your fan base is mainly NA and mine is mainly EU. So when the others come in, they're obviously going to be like, what is this person saying? And I think I need to be more conscientious of that and like more like, well, you know what? It's understandable and stuff like that. But it's really hard. It's kind of a mess right now, and I just had an overwhelming negative feeling. I feel bad like even saying this, but I like had a really bad day where I was like, it was like everything I read was the very worst. When that definitely wasn't the case. There was a lot of good still, and I was like not even enjoying it anymore. Like Worlds, I was just like, I like fell into this black hole, and I was like screaming, and I was like, I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm afraid to say anything about anything. And the thing is, it comes with the territory, and I know so many people are going to be like, Yeah, but it's your job, you chose it. Right. Yes, yes, I know. Like, oh, I hate when people say that too. But sometimes it can get to you. And I'm glad you said that it's like a bit out of control now. But it's just what it is.
Let me ask you though. That nervousness, the fear of making the wrong prediction or whatever. So I obviously
Not fear of getting wrong prediction.
No, I mean by
reaction.
the wrong prediction from the eyes of the fans, right? That's what you're saying. It's like, okay. I just want to be clear. Okay, so I obviously get like flamed to shit by the EU fans, and especially this year. Like my YouTube channel's got a ton of dislikes and stuff, and then when I mention that, people get angry that I've mentioned it. Are you getting a ton of that from NA fans?
So I don't know who it is from. Now, is it
like,
probably more from NA fans?
Because do they message you and say EU sucks, like Team Liquid's gonna win, like that? This is the interesting
Fine to
thing.
me. Well, that I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
I don't mind like.
So people say you're talking about when people say mean things to you.
Yeah, I don't mind when people are like, "Yo, we're gonna crush you," or whatever. Team Liquid the best, or whatever. Like, bring it on. Like we do. Like that's the same. It's more that okay. So basically, this is what I've been struggling with. I have a persona that is Sjokz, right? Yeah. And there are parts to that. One of that is very intense love of my region and EU, much like Ovali does, right? Yeah. Which is awesome, and I think we need that. And emotion when they win or when they lose, and I really put it out there because I want to. But that has made it difficult for me to maintain the professional, unbiased persona, which I know there is in other aspects, because I think people can't differentiate between the two very easily, and they can't see the context. So when they know on the one side I'm this emotional, happy EU fan, and then I'm on broadcast, and in one segment I say, "Yay, Fnatic," because they beat SKT, and right after I say, I don't say anything about them anymore. I was just like that. It was now to look at it from a from an unbiased perspective, or I don't even have to say that because I do it. I was the first to question G2. I was the first to say Fnatic wasn't going to get out that group, but it's very hard for people to see the different contexts. So I've actually been like, damn, should I just not be outwardly excited anymore about my team, which I also don't want to do, and like,
No, I'm so happy you said all this because I can relate to it so much. Where like I on Hotline League was more jaded about North America's chances than like anybody else, including some of the callers, right? Like people are like, "Oh, TL's going to make it out," right? And I'm like, honestly, I feel like it's a 50-50. But people then later on, but every now and then I'll be like, "Yeah, go in A" or something like that, and then people later on will pretend that I predicted like a Cloud9 TL finals or something, right? Yeah. Like, and that I hate EU and that all this stuff goes on, and it just drives me crazy because I'm like, and maybe it's on us because to some extent, in that we know what we've said, but maybe one person has only seen one of the things we've said. They don't understand the broader stuff.
That's what I mean. Like they can't be like, of course they haven't watched everything, and that's why we should also be more like, oh, of course I can see why this person would say that when they've only seen you going like, oh, TL. But then like I said, let's go Liquid on the desk, and like everyone was happy with that. It's really that line, It's like if NA was winning all the things, like then I think it would be flipped, and I think we have to deal with that. But I do get that people get annoyed. I get it. And I feel like people are going to jump on so much in this interview, unfortunately. But just know that, it's from Travis as well. There always will be a certain amount of bias. I think it's impossible not to have it. But there's also bias in the people watching and in your vision of things. But know that we always work on it, and we try to give you the best product possible, but entertainment is also important, and I don't want to default to being this emotionless kind of robot, and that means that sometimes I'm going to go over a bit, but in a professional setting, I really try and do my best. Oh my God, this was so emo.
I think it's good. It's real, right? You could have come out here and you could have been like, I love the Worlds and the teams are great and everything's fine. But
I still love Worlds. Worlds has been freaking amazing.
Well, I think it's nice for us to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I don't.
I love you all.
Yes. And I know you have to run. We are way over time. The only thing I want to say and kind of get your take on this too is I'm just worried because I do feel like at some point in time I went from being like, haha EU, haha NA to a slugfest on the internet.
I hate you all. Lose
and this year it feels like it's so much worse, and I worry that it's just it's escalated every year and it's just going to get worse, and maybe this is how we start feeling like we can't ever
Are we just more sensitive to it? Has it always been this way? Okay. Well, I don't
You and I have gotten less sensitive over time. That's the thing about being on the internet.
desensitized.
You just are like, oh, there's a person saying something terrible about me as a person or wishing cancer on me, and you just like block them or whatever you
Well, I had like a breakdown a couple of days ago, but it took a lot more for that to happen than like 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You used to break down when I said hi to you.
And yeah. So I like TLDR, a couple things. One, yes, we should be able to deal with all this because we're professionals and like we know we're in the public eye. Two, there's good and bad, and like the good outweighs the bad by a lot in every community. And I think we just notice the bad more. But you know what? Let's be nice to each other. Let's make funny memes. Let's, I'm not saying don't criticize anyone. Fuck it. Like, we've talked about this.
Anyway, I just wanted to be known that I definitely can push an interview over 7 minutes, unlike what somebody said. And it wasn't my decision to push it over 7 minutes, which is what I told PR whenever they said you only have 7 minutes.
Kirsty's the best.
I didn't drop her name. You keep mentioning her name. She doesn't want to be involved.
Travis, okay, for people, so like I need to do a post-match interview now since it's best of fives. I have a bit more time because like I can miss the first 5 minutes of a game or something, but like not everything obviously. So I wanted to take time for this.
I think they're still on. Oh no, it did start. Okay, whatever. Anyway, shout out to Kirsty, who I didn't say her name first. You said it twice. Usually we try to keep PR out of this, but shout out to Sjokz. Shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for the interview. You already said the TLDR. Do you want to say anything else? Shout out your socials.
No, just give Travis's videos a thumbs up. He deserves it, and he's a great interviewer. I don't care what any of y'all say.
And also subscribe.
Yes.
Hey, really appreciate you watching all my Worlds coverage, including this video. It's awesome that you were able to do that because of Alienware. That's right. You wouldn't be able to watch it. I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for them. You can check out their stuff at alienware.com/Travis. There's a link in the description below. Also, the rest of our sponsors. And, by the way, please go check out our LPL documentary. I know a lot of people are not as interested in the LPL, but there's some crazy stuff happening over there that we were able to talk to people about. It should be on the screen right here. But either way, here's the first couple of seconds of it.
2017 World Finals at Beijing, right? We have, I don't have the exact number, but it's 45K seats.
It's sold out in seconds.
If I go to the shops around this area, you will see just IG posters in just like random noodle shops.
There are multiple times where I'm walking down the street in Shanghai and you see a restaurant that's just showing an esports game.